The perception around Ayurveda has changed over the years.
40% of the people who are driving the entire wellness market are Gen Z and millennials.
Today, the Gen Z is reading labels, which is very interesting after the whole food farmer and the whole ecosystem around it.
Yeah.
I got this opportunity to pitch one of my business ideas in front of Google for Entrepreneurs. Came in the top 10 out of about 160 startups. So got that first $100,000 to start.
Did you face any kind of challenges because you're relatively young compared to startup founders? Firstly, what's your big prediction about the wellness industry?
It'll be something very interesting, like in the form of bio patches maybe. The next decade or couple of decades, we will transition into more genetic testing based data. When we're talking about longevity, people want to know about their DNA reports. Based on the DNA reports, which are the right products for me.
India's wellness industry is booming, with Ayurveda supposed to play a big part in it. We also have, I think, the world's second or third largest startup economy, and a huge number of these startup founders are under 30. So I have a guest with me today who's managed to combine all three: wellness, Ayurveda, and he was also under 30 when he started his business. So before I introduce you to him, please quickly hit the subscribe button so that I am motivated and I keep getting you different people with different perspectives every week. So my guest has started the world's first Ayurceutical company. What exactly is Ayurceutical? What are the products? What is his take on wellness? What is his take on health? And all this and more we're going to talk about today with Harshit. Hi, Harshit.
Hi, very, very good afternoon. Thank you so much for inviting here. And it's very exciting because this is my first podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
And never dreamt of doing it with a celebrity actress. So
You're very kind.
Yeah, so very excited about it. Yeah.
No, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And you know, health and wellness is a huge thing with me personally.
Right.
That's why I was very excited. I was like, okay, there's Ayurveda, there's wellness. Plus, he was under 30 when he started. How did this happen? So, can I start with some tough questions?
Absolutely. Please,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
So, when you talk about Ayurveda, there are two schools of thought.
Yeah.
There is some school of thought which tries to disparage it because it's not similar to Western medicine. So, what do you... I don't personally believe that because I'm a believer in Ayurveda. I think it's part of our... It is science according to me. But what's your take on it, your profession?
So I believe that Ayurveda is not something that can be called as a different science altogether, because it's the science of life. It's the science of longevity.
Okay.
However, the perception around Ayurveda has changed over the years. Being a 5,000-year-old science, it gets very difficult to match the modern day trends, right? So at least in the Western world, with the advent of pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals, Ayurveda kind of took a backseat.
Okay.
Which is why they consider Ayurveda a pseudoscience. Although a lot of pharmaceutical formulations and nutraceutical formulations are developed with the core thesis of Ayurveda.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they call it curcumin instead of turmeric, for instance.
Yeah.
But turmeric is an Ayurveda herb, right?
And it's been around forever since...
Forever since
we were kids.
we have ever known about humanity, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's not just about the perception. It's more about how Ayurveda is considered both in India as well as the Western world. It's always been a science of life and longevity, which I again pointed out. So we believe it's just changing the mindset around Ayurveda. Can we consider it that it is a part of our daily lifestyles? It's not a different science that you're not living it or you have to force fit it in your lives.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a part of our daily lives. It has always been. Now people are considering it even more. So yeah.
You know, when you look at the data, it's so sort of, it's I think, heartening for me to see that 40% of the people who are driving the entire herbal and wellness market, or the wellness market, let me put it as a wellness market, are Gen Z and millennials, right? They're becoming healthier, they're more interested in wellness. So is that connected to what you're doing, and how do you see this trend fitting in with what you do? Let me put it that way.
So what we try to do is that can we show Ayurveda as a global phenomenon,
Okay.
which was either lost or it was not considered as a global phenomenon, and we wanted to add the layer of science, innovation, and evidence to the existing Ayurveda ecosystem. So we are not doing something out of the world. What we are just trying to do is make it more simplistic for people to understand. Today, the Gen Z is reading labels, which is very interesting after the whole food farmer and the whole ecosystem around it.
Yeah.
People are now reading labels, which is a good part. Gen Zs are looking behind the packaging and they are more aware about everything, right? before consuming anything through ingestibles, they want to know what is it, what is going inside my body.
Okay.
So yes, Gen Z is ready to accept Ayurveda in their own format, and we are just adding that new layer of format, new ways of consuming Ayurveda through oral strips. For instance, we have very easily consumable orally dissolvable strips. Just place it on the tongue, it automatically melts. It sounds trendy. It's not the same capsules and the same powders, right? So we are innovating Ayurveda from ground up and backing it with evidence, which is the primary pillar of our brand. Talking more about science, talking more about innovation, that this is what is going to help you in the future over the next 30 days. This is the outcome that you'll be getting. So a lot of it is about innovation, evidence, science around Ayurveda, and which is why Gen Z is also accepting us.
That's great. If there's people, let's say under 40, who are watching this,
Yes.
right? Now you have a long experience with Ayurveda, even in the company before,
Yes.
where you kind of took it to the market in a bigger way in Eastern
Right,
India.
right.
So what's been your biggest takeaways? Like, what are the most exciting things you discovered about Ayurveda as a whole, and maybe about business as well from then to...
Oh, wonderful. I mean, those 4.5 years or 5 years of experience was amazing because I was right there.
Sorry, it was a Ayurveda company, the earlier one as well?
Yes, it was an
Before-
Ayurveda company. It
Okay.
was a kind of a diversified family business, which
Okay.
was into mass market products of Ayurveda. So it's cough syrups and digestive syrups and
I see.
tonics, etc. Right?
Okay, and you were there for a couple of years before you decided to start your...
Correct. So I tried to gain the experience. I tried to speak with the doctors. That was my first exposure to hardcore Ayurveda, right?
Huh.
I don't belong to a family which is
No,
into
that's what I
generational
wanted to know
Ayurveda.
about. Huh.
So it was more out of experiences. I started speaking with a lot of doctors and started to understand the gaps in Ayurveda.
Okay.
And because I was going into mass market, I was going into tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities. In eastern part, there's Murshidabad, Siliguri, there's northeast as well. When you go into the ground and when you understand the actual perception of people, that is where you understand that where the gap really lies. What I understood that Ayurveda, yes, it has a very big potential, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. However, why are they not able to accept it in their daily lives? How can we change that perception?
Okay.
The fundamental difference which I understood was they perceive Ayurveda as a curative medicine,
Okay.
which it is not.
Okay.
It is a preventive wellness medicine,
I
right?
see.
You have to take it every single day, not with that benefit in mind that, hey, this is what is going to cure me in the next 3 to 4 days. That I picked as a core thesis, that we want to make Ayurveda more preventive, and which is why I call ourselves a brand as 365 Veda, products that you can consume every single day throughout the
Nice.
year. So more
Nice.
preventive in nature.
Nice.
That was one. Number two is then when you are traveling with all these distributors and wholesalers and doctors and interacting with all of them, you also get to understand how you can improve the packaging in a way, how you can change how people are consuming Ayurveda. Does it work only as a prescription medicine or an OTC medicine? And all these ground realities around the commercials, whether what kind of margins you have to pass on to the distributors and all of that. So that was number two. Number three was how can we get data about people? So when you're working in a brick and mortar format, which is the traditional marketing format, you don't get data of who is consuming it, which pin codes are you targeting, what is the feedback loop. All of that is missing. So with a more D2C approach, we are getting a lot of pulse about how people are liking the products and are they getting results or not. We are having a very good rating on the marketplaces and all of that. So people are getting results. We are able to drive results from a 6-month time frame down to 15 days, and people are seeing results, which is why we are able to be globally adopted as well.
Okay. So you're saying your experience with the earlier Ayurveda company helped you here, and then you
Absolutely.
could probably zero in on what the consumers were most looking for.
Absolutely.
Right, and you have some really interesting products, and some of those I wanted to ask you, like ghee coffee is one trending word which someone has picked up and it has somewhere gone viral. There's also Shilajit. So
Yes.
do you feel that Ayurveda somewhere gets misinterpreted in the whole social media buzz kind of thing, and how do you try to counteract the stereotypes and misconceptions about a particular product you're
So it
making.
does happen. I mean, every now and then there is suddenly some ingredient that
Which goes viral,
that
hai na?
just explodes.
Yeah,
Right. Shilajit has been a trend not just in India. If you ask anyone in the US, everyone knows Shilajit somehow.
And what is the reality of it actually?
So
What-
Shilajit is actually a fossil fuel, right? And it is found only in certain areas in mountainous regions, and is not India specific.
Okay.
You get it in the Himalayas. You
Okay.
also get it in Chile.
Okay.
So South America is also a very good market for Shilajit. Just that the sourcing and the awareness around Indian Shilajit is a lot more. And the main component of that is fulvic acid, which helps with a lot of things. So it could be anti-aging as a process. It could be improvement of testosterone levels. It could be improvement of stamina.
I think that's the only part people have caught on to, right?
But there are so many other things. There are so many other benefits. It's a multi-mineral compound, right? So you were talking about the misconceptions. I think people try to consider every ingredient that is trending as a one size fits all approach. मैं भी लेना स्टार्ट कर दूंगा तो इसके लिए मेरे को भी सेम बेनिफिट मिलेगा, विच इज़ नॉट ट्रू. घी कॉफ़ी फॉर इंस्टेंस, if someone is kapha predominant, ghee is not suggested for them. Ghee and coffee as a mixture may work for some people, may not work for some people. So it's all about you as a person, what works for you. That is what is acceptable. And which is what we also do, right? I mean, Ayurveda blended with nutraceuticals may not work for some people. They may be better off because they have already crossed that age, or maybe the chronic illness condition is already escalated so much where preventive medicine may not be able to help. So we don't recommend products to someone who is having extreme joint pain problems. We don't do that. But if you're identifying the disease early on in your lives, maybe around 30s, 35s, that is when we come in, we intervene with our products, and it really helps that way. So it's about how you perceive and how it works for you as a body.
And did you find that anxiety or depression, not depression, anxiety or stress is like a big thing that people are looking for?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is driving a lot of chronic conditions for people. So if you're not able to sleep well, you'll have gut-related problems, you'll have memory-related problems, because you're not exercising.
Heart-related problems.
Cardiac problems.
Yeah,
I'm seeing
yeah.
42, 32-year-olds
a lot.
facing cardiac arrests,
A lot,
right?
huh.
So when stress levels are so high, and sleep is also like a precondition to it, you're not sleeping well, so it kind of shows up in all the other conditions. When you're solving for sleep, you're able to solve for a lot of health problems.
Okay, nice.
Gut, digestion, metabolism, a lot of it.
Nice.
So I think sleep is a problem that has to be fixed.
Right.
In Gen Zs, unfortunately, they like staying awake too late.
Yeah.
I'm a person who wakes up at 5 a.m. in the morning every single day for the last 20 years. So certain disciplines, certain dinacharya, which we call in Ayurveda, has to be followed to make sure that that circadian rhythm is in place, and which is where I believe that Ashwagandha as a strip is really helping people sleep well.
Nice. That is a big issue. I've almost heard every age category talking about how their sleep is disturbed, and of course the other reasons related to it, like maybe screen exposure
Yes.
at night and things like that. So I want to take a little bit of a jump back to something
Sure.
you did before 365
Sure.
Veda. There was, I think you did something which was incubated by Google for entrepreneurs. So tell us about that. That sounds really exciting. That was your first venture, so
Absolutely.
that's why you got on to your third before you were 30.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, that was kind of a turning point in my life, to be
Okay.
very frank. I was the typical BCom graduate who was trying to pursue chartered accountancy and company secretary, and that was all herd mentality that everyone is doing, that I am supposed to do the same as well. But come 2015, when I got this opportunity to pitch one of my business ideas in front of Google for Entrepreneurs. It was a weekend festival that they were doing at IIM Calcutta. And one of my friend called me that, hey, if you
You're
want to just...
XLRI, no? But
I'm an XLI grad,
Yeah.
but this was an opportunity back in 2015. So one of my friend called me that, hey, there's this something like this startup weekend coming up. Why don't you come and attend, see if you want to just hang around, talk to people, network, etc. I went there. I pitched my idea about AI-based shuttle system,
Okay.
which is an Uber for shuttles, basically. As simple as that. Carrying people from point A to point B, but can we carry 10 people together so that it kind of, there is cost efficiency. And that was a problem that I was trying to solve for myself, because I felt I'm going to articleship trainings and I'm going to companies and they are very distant from the main city. So it's costing me very high, and the company is not reimbursing me the money for that, right? So I thought, can we have something which is more mass transit, and can we travel 10, 12 people with the same destination in there? And I got a team in place, and I pitched my idea over there at Google for Entrepreneurs. came in the top 10 out of about 160 startups who were pitching there. 5 of the investors were very, very happy with the idea, and they told that, hey, let's take a bet on you. At that time, maybe dollar was about 60. So got that first $100,000 to start with, and start working on this. And that was a very interesting venture because that helped me shape as an entrepreneur. That was my first entrepreneurial plunge. And I was very happy because, coming out of that CA, CS and all of that BCom ecosystem,
thinking different.
I just felt very different. Fundraising and being in the news, we were covered by the Telegraph and all of that. So that happened, and we was living the startup dream in Calcutta. We were trying to change the lives of people through easier transit. 30 rupees, you're going from one point to the other, which is Garyahat to Salt Lake. Unbelievable. So, and we were offering guaranteed seats. We were offering a bottle of water as well. So people were very happy. We were getting 5-star ratings, all of that. But 3 months into the business, and we got a letter from the West Bengal Transport Authorities that whatever you're doing is something illegal. It is not covered in the Motor Vehicles Act. You cannot run a private bus service like this. There's a lot of legality around it. So you have to report to the transport authorities and chat with us. So over there, things happened, and we were not able to come up with a solution. They then sent us a legal notice that you have to shut your services from tomorrow itself. And our app was already running. We had 5,000 active users. It was a hard call that we had to take, but 6 months into the business, we had to then shut it down. But it was a very good experience. It was like a mini MBA for me. I was actually getting to learn everything around startup, CTO. We had a CTO, we had a CEO, and we were running the venture. Happy people, talking about us. So yeah, it was something interesting.
No, it sounds so fun.
Yeah,
it sounds
it
really
does.
fun. So we spoke about Hopper, which was your shuttle service. We spoke about your earlier experience in your family-run Ayurveda business, and now we have 365 Veda, right? As a startup founder under 40, what has been your takeaway? What would you like people to learn from your learnings? Let me put it.
Sure. A few things that I learned during the first startup was you have to be very, very particular about legalities, about licensing, about the whole technical aspects around startup and whichever business you are in. If it's cosmetics, then the whole licensing around
because it can just trip you up without realizing.
Absolutely, it can boomerang really bad, right? It was not just the legal notice from the transport authorities. It was also about the IP. So our brand name was called Hopper, HOPPR.
Which is a very cool name, actually.
Yes. At least we believe that. We got the .co.in domain as well for that. But after 8 months or so, even after we shut down the business, after that we got a legal notice from an IP authority.
Okay.
And there was a brand from Airtel which was running this Hopper as an ecosystem somewhere else in the UK or something. So we got a global notice that you are not allowed to use this brand name and you'll be penalized with $50,000 for that. So these are hiccups or maybe learnings, I could say, that you need to learn these things early on. Secure yourself from the trademark aspect, the IP, intellectual property around it, legalities, technicalities. If required, take the help of a lawyer.
Okay.
Very early on in your venture. Take the help of a lawyer, ask people about questions, which is one more thing which I learned in the second startup, which is we as startup founders are very reserved. We don't talk to people. We don't network enough. We think that our idea is very secure, so I don't want to share my idea with the world. Maybe someone else will copy it. It's not that. It's all about in the execution, right? So talking to more people, maybe someone who has already done that and failed, maybe take some learnings out of that and then build on to it. Okay. It will really help. Talk to your professors in colleges, talk to maybe startup founders who have done very well. I have noticed startup founders are very open to talk. Even after they are very successful, they want to share those learnings. So talking to people is something which is very important, which I would like more entrepreneurs to be doing that. Third is be patient. It took us 2.5 years with Gohil Ayurveda to scale to about 120 distributors. Okay. Right? It does take time to build ventures. You have to do so much on the back end, packaging, supply chain. You need to have a team in place. You also need to have your website looking good. And there's so many things that are going around on the backside, right? So it's very important to be patient. Give yourself a couple of years. Don't give up too early. in trying to fail early, because failure is now being accepted, and socially is also there's some acceptance around it. People tend to give up on their idea. They don't try to refine it, and they just give up that, hey, did not work out, let's move on to something else, which is where the failure rate also comes in, right? 80-90% of startups are not doing very well. So, and a lot of it is because of investor pressure as well. So don't raise too early. Give yourself some time, get the product validated or your startup validated, and just time it well when you want to raise that fund. So even today we are a bootstrap company.
Okay.
We have not raised funds, right?
See, I didn't know that.
Exactly. So we want to just delay it as much as we can so that we are better placed whenever we are raising funds at better valuation as well.
Okay. So that brings me to what we were discussing off camera, the study where 90% of startups fail, mostly between the second and the fifth year. So you spoke about your learnings. What do you think they should avoid? Why do you think firstly this failure rate is there? And what do you think they should definitely avoid? Startup founders
don't have to burn too much money, right? Anything that has to do with building a team around it, invest in your team. That was one learning in the second startup as well, that I did not have a very strong team in place. So having a team who can help you with other dynamics of the business. If you're looking at the business and marketing and sales, which I come from, can someone take care of the technical aspects? Can I have a team of doctors who are looking at the product, whole soul of the product, end-to-end licenses, food license, GMP license, all of that, which in 365 I implemented. I have an entire team of biotechnologists, a team of Ayurveda doctors. I have a team of legal people, personnel who are taking care of the entire thing. I have a team of branding who is taking care of the PR, branding, all of that.
Nice.
So invest in the team. That team is going to be your asset for the longest time till your startup is existing in the market. So invest in team. Don't burn out. Don't try to compromise on your fitness routines. Don't try to compromise on your health routines. It's extremely important, along with mental fatigue. That physical health is going to help you with a lot of things. So I am someone who is an athlete. I do play basketball every morning. I hit the gym. I do exercise as well. I do meditate, so I'm a part of a heartfulness community which is into meditation. So those are important aspects which otherwise are ignored. So I think those are some learnings and something that startup founders should do. Don't come under investor pressure as well, which is I think a major part of failure as well.
It is.
But talk to the investors as well. Sometimes when things are not working out, it's absolutely fine to tell investors that, hey, this product is not working out, what should I do? A lot of people just feel that, hey, what will the investors say again, and then will I get the next round of funding or not? Just accept failure and then talk to people. I think that should be able to resolve a lot of things.
You've also spoken about so clearly you are what do you say, walking the talk when it comes to the holistic living, healthy living, wellness. It's so nice to see that. So now that you're raising money, have you faced, so before this I had a female founder on, right?
Okay.
And I asked her something, because when I looked at the data on female founders getting funded was very depressing. So I asked her, I said that is it bias? So she was like, no, it's not bias, because the pool is small, right? So likewise, I'd like to ask you, did you face any kind of challenges because you're relatively young compared to startup founders? Did you feel that from investors?
You always face challenges when you're looking for funds, right? Money is not something which is easily disposable here in India.
Right.
All the startup ecosystem is still evolving. Yes, there's more money than it used to be 20 years back, but money is still a big problem. Same supply and demand issues, right? If there are 90,000 startups, how many will get funded really? How many will get the second round of funding, and how many can really survive? So the equation kind of just keeps going down, and there's a very thin percentage of people who can raise funds and also be successful, which we are able to see in the form of IPOs and all of that.
Okay.
So I feel startup funding per se is not the aim of starting your own company or your own brand. What you want to do is you want to build a dream around that brand. You want to have people around you to help take that vision forward, and probably that is going to be as a conclusion to all of those efforts, you will end up raising funds as well.
Okay.
When the time is right. So yes, we are looking to raise funds maybe 3 or 4 months down the line, because now we have kind of scaled to that level where we are able to get a lot of validation from our customers. We have got a very good retention ratio as well. We are hitting the right numbers when it comes to the top line, CM1, CM2, CM3. So it is always going to be a challenge. Even 3 months from now, it will be a challenge. But I believe we'll be in a better place because I have the whole army of people, the whole apparatus to make sure that the funding is fairly easy, at least, if not difficult.
No, this is a really interesting perspective I'm getting from you, that don't purely as a startup founder, with advice to other startup founders, don't be in a hurry to raise the
Absolutely.
money. Come from a place where you're sorted out with your back end, your technicals, your team, your product, everything.
Correct.
Right? And probably have more numbers and more a time period to show the numbers
Yes,
over.
yes.
And that gives you the confidence which will translate into
Absolutely,
better.
yes.
Yeah, I think that's a really good takeaway. I think
Yes.
for me. And so now you've been extremely selective about the products that you put out there in the market. So in terms of the next, let me ask you a question in two parts, right?
Okay.
Firstly, what's your big prediction about the wellness industry? You are sort of from that industry. And secondly, what would you like your company to come up with in the next couple of years? Like your star products, maybe your dream products that you'd like to come up with.
Good question. I'll take the second question first.
Okay.
So one thing that we wanted to always do was come up with only innovative products, right? Something which is very practical, something which is very innovative. There is newness to it. There is some novelty around it. We do not want to do the typical capsules and tablets and powders, right? So that is 100% thing. So even maybe 2 years down the line, if we add another product range, it'll be something very interesting, like in the form of bio patches, maybe.
What's a bio patch?
It's a transdermal patch.
Okay.
However, whatever patches that you're seeing in the market right now, they are not absorbable as much as it should be, because skin is the next most porous part of the body, right? So absorption through the skin into the blood streams has to happen. So it's a transdermal patch.
Okay.
So in the case of our products, existing products, it's through the tongue that it's happening.
Okay.
So tongue has, again, the second most porous part of the body, right? So through the tongue, it is entering the blood streams, and then it is taking the whole systemic availability of the herbs, and it is being available, and it is also taking it to the brain as well. No messing up with the gut health system, no messing up with the digestive system.
Okay, got it.
So we want to transition into, again, a biopatch trend, which we see that maybe 2 years, 3 years down the line, even that will start picking up. We want to do more innovation around how we can add genomics data. So this also answers your first question, where I feel maybe the next decade or couple of decades, we will transition into more genetic testing based data. When we're talking about longevity, people want to know about their DNA reports. Based on the DNA reports, which are the right products for me, which are the right treatments for me. Yoga is not something which is generalized and everyone should do the same yoga pose, right?
Yes,
People have to change.
Yes, you're supposed to.
People have to change based on your hormonal changes, based on your weight, age. There are so many changes, so it cannot be generalized. So can there be a layer of genetic testing data which will provide certain information, and then out of those inferences, we will be able to make some judgments that this is what is right for you, this is the right food for you, this is the right lifestyle for you. So I think wellness is going to move towards that, more genetic, more personalized, more predictive analytics, which we also believe that through Ayurveda and combination of Ayurveda and genomic data, which is called Ayur-Genomics as an entire concept, which we would like to enter into maybe a few years from now when the market is more ready.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. But when you talk about right now, are you do you feel pressured by the market to get into, let's say, AI for diagnostics, for example? And how do you see that compared with the personalized?
We get this question very often. I mean, how are you trying to do AI into your products?
Do you want to do? My question would be more like, do you want to do AI?
We get this question a lot. So I believe AI should not be, again, forced fit into your company, right? If there is certain ways that AI can help or enable or maybe improve certain processes in the way, then it should be acceptable.
Yes.
Then we are willing to do that. For instance, COD, order confirmation, something as simple as that. Generally, we used to have those messages that go that, are you confirming the order or not, and stuff like that. So we now added a layer of AI voice calls.
Okay.
So an automatic voice calls goes to the customer as soon as they place an order, that your order number is this, you placed an order for this product, and would you like to confirm your order? If the person on the other side is saying yes or confirmed, then the order is automatically processed. So we are using more enablers, more improvement of the systems where we can add AI, but we are not trying to force fit AI as such. That is one. AI is going to help you with when you have huge amounts of data to process, which practically humans cannot process, right? or you'll need a machine to kind of process all of that data. So when we're doing Ayur-Genomics as a concept, probably there we'll have to use a lot of data science and AI. And I come from a data science background, right? I did a marketing and data science from XRI. So I do know that that data is going to help improve outcomes for people, and that is one key enabler which otherwise is not accessible. So Ayurveda doctors are not everywhere across the world, right? There are still only 3 lakh Ayurveda doctors in India, which is a very bad ratio when compared to the entire population that we have, right?
Yeah.
It's a very poor ratio.
And we are the land of Ayurveda.
We are the land of
should
Ayurveda,
not
so
have
very
so
few registered Ayurveda doctors.
Yeah.
So how do we make Ayurveda more accessible to the 140 crores in India, and globally it's a 700 crore, 800 crore market, right? So maybe AI, maybe data, maybe science and genomics data put together is going to help us scale that as well. So which is where I believe Ayurveda has some sort of an synergy with AI.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. One would not have put the 2 words in one sentence.
Yeah.
Actually, Ayurveda and AI, but it's possible from what
Yes.
you're telling me.
Yes.
And yeah, I think this was a really great conversation. And thank you so much for being here and telling us all about 365 Veda, which was amazing.
Thank you so much, Sampada. I mean, when you're a founder and you want to talk about your brand or you want to have conversations, you can go on and on, right? You can spend hours.
Yeah, it was extremely interesting. It was extremely interesting.
Right.
Firstly, because my area of interest, plus what
course.
you're doing is extremely
Right.
innovative and traditional at the same time. Both.
Correct. So yeah, we are trying to bring the two together, at least tradition and the modern day world, make it more easier for us to consume Ayurveda. And yeah, probably I think this is one thing that India can take to the world, right? A lot of things come from outside and the Western world into India. I have a very strong belief that Ayurveda is one thing that India can really accept. Like there's Chinese traditional medicine, same way Ayurveda has so much to give to the world. We are still at less than $2 per annum of global per capita consumption of Ayurveda. It's still a very small market, it's about $10 to $12 billion, right? How can we make this 10x from here? And I believe more science, more innovation, more adoption, and more evidence around it, palatability. So all our products are very tasty, right? You don't feel that you're consuming a medicine. It's a part of your daily life. You're having your food. After that, just consume one strip. So how convenience and palatability is going to help you? I think we are going to take that story to the world, and we believe that yes, we do have the potential to take it to the world.
No, now that you mention it, I noticed that there is also how should I put it, a governmental push
Yes.
towards that.
Oh yes.
So you have, how has that tied in with your taking Ayurveda to the world?
Oh yes, I think very silently, the current government has really pushed Ayurveda as again a global phenomenon, right? I think the last month PM Modi was there in Brazil as well, in South America, and they provided all the machinery and all the tools to make sure Ayurveda can be a part of the Brazil ecosystem as well. And the same thing has already happened silently across the world. So Australians are ordering Ayurveda products, the Western world. So the US is ordering Ayurveda products. In fact, Ashwagandha is a more searched keyword in the US than in India.
Really?
There are 1.2 million searches for Ashwagandha just on Amazon as a platform.
See, I didn't know that.
And
That's
in India, it's less than 10,000.
Okay.
So I think the Western world has accepted us in maybe other ways than Ayurveda. Maybe they call it plant-based or something nutraceutical or whatever, but it's a part of their daily lives now. So I think this current government has worked really hard. In fact, I have been to the Ministry of Ayush as well, and they have a very dynamic team.
Oh, nice.
Very dynamic team. I'm looking at youngsters who are running the show. I'm looking at real doctors who are maybe 35, 40 who are contributing to the ecosystem. And they are helping us with all possible ways. I mean, export orders, helping us scale outside of India, guidance, international expansion, a lot of things. So I think it's just scratching the surface. 20 years from now, Ayurveda will be in a very different shape. And the current government is doing a very good job for that.
No, that's good to hear. In fact, wellness is such a huge market. There's
Oh,
so
yes.
much scope there, and we have so much to offer to the world.
Yes.
You know, especially when it looks at something traditional being blended with a modern approach,
Correct.
which is what you're doing. Yeah, that was great. You want to say anything? You want to say anything to those who are watching?
No, I mean, please do try our products. 365veda.com is where we are, and we are trying to solve some very important wellness goals today. and we have diverse set of products. They look very colorful as well. I think we have some of them in the background as well. They're very colorful products, so please do try them, comment about it, and please do follow Sampada. I think she's a
Yeah.
wonderful job of calling founders and interacting with them, taking the whole voice to the world about what is happening in the founder story. I think it's very important for us, for first time founders, second time, as well as third time founders in my case. So yeah, very interesting discussion, and thank you so much,
Thank
Sampada,
you.
for
Thank
having
you
us
so
here.
much. And you did such a perfect job recapping. I don't think I need a conclusion. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. And look forward to seeing you next week.